Oh boy, day got away from me today. And it is supper time, and I need to come up with a side dish, and I need to do that fast. My husband's already got the hamburger patties on the grill, and I need to think of something else that we can fix with it. But my basket's empty, so come on, let's go to the garden and see what we can find. Well, hey there, Barley. You gonna help me find some stuff in the garden? Oh, let's take a quick peek. Strawberries are gorgeous. This morning I saw some that were turning almost ready. Not quite there. Beets are coming along. The big tomatoes are green. Oh, hey, no cucumbers. I don't know what that is growing. Honestly, I don't know if that's a weird shaped cucumber or what. But that is not a cucumber. Ooh, looky, looky. I am going to pick some tomatoes. I don't know. I think these are meant that you could like cut the whole thing off, but they're not all quite ready. So I'm just going to pick the ones that are. You know, in the stores, sometimes you'll see them that way. I've been keeping my eye on these. I'm so excited to give them a try. Oop, there's a bunch more green ones coming. Yay. I've got some preservation projects I'd like to try this year with them. The rest I think I'll leave on there. I think they can get a little more sun. But I'm going to move over here. I'm going to gather some herbs. I think I'll get a little of this basil. Let's see, the dill is pretty much all gone to seed. But I've got just a little bit here. And I think I might get this, I think's some mint. Just a little. And if I remember, I think maybe I can check. Yep, I've got more tomatoes we can try here, see if they're ready. Yeah, just a couple. Okay, let's go see what we can make with this. Hey friends, if you're new here, my name is Angela and I'm the Inquisitive Farm Wife. You never know what kind of project I'll be up to, but today we're just making a side dish for supper and we had to do something fast. So you went to the garden with me and we gathered up some tomatoes and some herbs. That's about really all I have going in my garden. And as you saw, we didn't have cucumbers, but I was gifted a couple. For this salad recipe that I'm making today, if you have fresh red onions, that would be of choice. I don't have any, and instead of using the white onions, I do have some pickled sweet red onions, and I think that they will make for a nice addition to this fast and furious salad we're going to make. You're also going to want some sort of vinegar. Or red wine vinegar would be really good, but we love balsamic around here, especially with anything basil inspired. So that's what we'll be using. And then you'll want to get some good olive oil. And I decided to go ahead and use a garlic infused olive oil because then that's going to give a little extra flavor and I don't have to worry about hydrating a powdered garlic to put in my dressing. I'm going to rinse everything off and then we'll come back and we'll be putting this together. We're going to do things a little bit backwards because I don't want to waste any more dishes and get anything else dirty because it is already getting late and I don't want anything else added to my plate today. So I'm going to actually make the dressing first rather than put it in there. And I'm just going to eyeball a little bit of this balsamic vinegar. I'm going to add a little bit of the oil. We're going to add in some pepper. and some salt. And that's it. And give this a good whisk. I'm going to kind of try to emulsify this a little bit if we can. Which what that means is we just want your oil and vinegar to mix really well. And you might notice there is no sugar added to this. So this is a very diet-friendly recipe. I'm going to go ahead and just with my fingers, I'm going to pull off the stems on the herbs. And you wouldn't have to, but I'm going to go ahead and give this a rough chop. It just depends on how well you like herbs. We like lots of basil, so I'm using lots of it, a little bit of that mint, just to kind of give it that fresh flavor. Taking out any of those big stems. Same with the dill. I'm going to go ahead and add that to my pile just because we can. The dill, you could have just thrown sprigs in there. It would have been fine, but since we're going to be chopping and dicing anyway, I'm just going to kind of roll up these leaves. And we're going to ribbon cut those. Which means when we cut them, they'll be in little ribbons. Now, if you don't want a big ribbon, go and turn and just kind of give it a cross chop. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to add this into the vinegar to kind of pull in some of those flavors together. Let that kind of soak up, kind of push the aromatics out on those herbs. And then I think I'll go ahead and throw in some of these onions. We love red onions, so I'll probably go ahead and just use the rest of this jar. And I'm not being careful to pull out, and drain this because I don't mind if a little bit of that brine makes it into our dressing. So again, we'll go ahead and whisk this up a little bit. Let all those flavors meld. And now I don't know that I need both of these cucumbers today. So I'm just going to start with one and see how far we get. That's the thing with the cucumber we were looking at in my garden. They don't always grow exactly like the way you see them in the store. This one almost has like a pear shape. It doesn't mean it's not good. It doesn't mean it's not edible. It's just kind of what nature does sometimes. And it depends on, the weather and the watering and so many things. I'm going to make these just nice bite-sized pieces. So just however you want to chop them, you can chop them more or less, depending on how you want it to be. No set rules here. So I'll go ahead and we're leaving the skins on today. You absolutely can leave the skins off, but I kind of wanted that color in there. I thought it would look nice, and we don't mind the skins. Occasionally I will peel the skins completely off. Sometimes to make it, kind of a little more decorative, I will, like maybe every other slice would have been peeled, especially when I cut them into rings. But when we're just cubing them up like this, I'm perfectly happy with this. And now I think I'm just going to cut these in half. You can quarter them if you'd like. I have this special thing from Pampered Chef, and it's like putting two plates together, and you're supposed to be able to slide it across there to cut your tomatoes, but I have yet to ever have luck with that. It's kind of kind of disappoints me a little bit. And we're just going to throw those in there. And once I get all these chopped, then we'll decide if we want to add more cucumber. It's kind of a ratio thing of how much ingredients you have. I didn't tell you any measurements of anything because it isn't that kind of recipe today, folks. Okay. So I think that is about half and half, and I think that's going to be perfectly fine. We don't need to make big quantities of things anymore. So I think my ratio of cucumber to tomato is good. So now I can have this cucumber for a different recipe. Now, if you want to spread this out and make it a little more hearty, you could add like some feta cheese, which I actually almost grabbed some to add in there because I do make my own feta. But I thought, no, today I just want to do something simple and quick and easy, which adding feta wouldn't take much of anything either. But I found this recipe online. I don't even remember where it was, but I was a little inspired by it. And it didn't have the sugar, which you all know we've been trying to cut back and not use as much of that. So I thought, oh, okay, I'll do that. And the focus was more on the vegetables and the herbs. So I thought, you know what, let's do that and we'll give it a try. So, hey, let's try this. Wow. So I was not expecting this much pop of flavor already, especially since, you know, many times you want to put this kind of stuff in the refrigerator for like an hour or so to kind of infuse those flavors. But those fresh herbs, when I would get just a little bit of a bite of this and a little bit of bite of that, it was amazing. I think if I were to want to change this up, I definitely would add some fresh lemon juice. That would really bring out some fresh flavors. And I would use a red wine vinegar instead of the balsamic, and I would add that feta. And that's one way I would change the salad according to what ingredients I have on hand. I also would not hesitate to use raw zucchini instead of cucumber. What would you do? What's your favorite summer salad? And when you have an abundance of cherry tomatoes and cucumber, what do you do? Let me know in the comments below. I'd love to have a conversation with you. I'm getting ready to gear up and do all sorts of preservation ideas with cherry tomatoes, and I cannot wait to bring you all along with me when I do that. So we'll see you next time, right here on The Inquisitive Farm Wife. Bye for now, friends.